We are back for another heart to heart conversation. And y'all, this one is so special because, like the little image on my podcast cover, Jazz made that. She has super special, like, talents and skills that I could never, that's just not my forte. So it's so cool to have you here and like host you on the platform of the podcast because you were in the very beginning stages of it.
It's so exciting. I'm very happy that you asked me to do this. Stepping out
Mm.
of my comfort zone. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Little backstory just for people listening. We Jazz and I both went to Coopville High School on Whidbey Island. So that's like kind of how we know each other. And it's so fun now to be able to support each other. And, like she's got her skills and talents, I've got mine. And here we are. Yeah. Thank you for your bravery showing up here and sharing a little more about your story.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's crazy
February.
too that we didn't even really hang out too much in school. I don't remember talking to you that often. It was always a good experience when we did, but now we're like having this heart to heart conversation.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. It's like reconnecting kind of
Mhm.
because, we talked about this, how in high school it's like you're all trying to fit in. You're like, who am I? Oh, it's kind of
Right.
weird.
And now we're finally like figuring out who we are a little closer.
Yes.
I figure we'll never stop figuring out who we are though. So it's always more to learn.
Yes. I love that perspective. Yeah. So, I mean, February is focusing on love. And that's really why I reached out to you because I was like, I want to know more about your love story. I love love. And so before we get into that, I want to ask you what I ask all my guests or have been trying to ask all my guests, which is what makes you tick? What makes your heart come alive?
What makes my heart come alive? I think individuality. It sounds like a weird answer, but I think that's what really makes me kind of like intrigued. I just want to know more when I see someone who's so genuinely themselves and like such an individual, whether it's like interpersonal relationships or even a character on the TV. Like this person's different. They've got something going on for themselves, that kind of like makes me like, my heart's curious.
Ooh, I love that. And I totally see that in you and what you're creating. So wow, that's like really deep. And that's totally my jam. So no, thank you for sharing that. And I know we're talking about your love story, but since you brought up individuality, I'm like, how are you? Like, what sets you apart? How are you that different person? Because I see that in you.
Hmm. I don't know. Uh, that's a hard question. Even harder than the first one. I think maybe um I think nowadays I'm honest with myself. So whether it's about myself or about what's going on around me, I think that if someone asks me a question, I'm gonna answer as honest as I can. You can't really get that with everyone. So maybe that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I see it as your creativity, but maybe you don't see that in yourself because it comes so naturally.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I feel like I've always been creative. So and my whole family is creative too. Like it would blow your mind, like seeing these different talents my family has. It's crazy. So like that doesn't really feel like a
Hmm.
individual type thing for me. I don't know.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, especially if it runs in the family, you're like, I'm like all of them.
I'm like, yeah, different levels.
Yeah. So, okay. So, for those of you who are listening, what's fun about heart to heart conversations and this podcast is that like we aren't going off of a script. I mean, yeah, Jazz and I talked about maybe possible topics and had like a little brainstorm sesh, but we're speaking real time with you, just straight from the heart, you
Yeah.
know, like not prepared. And um, so yeah, I guess in saying that, I'm like, give us a little grace, we're figuring it out.
Mhm.
And that I think is what sets this podcast apart, right? Is like it's just so human, just so raw.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. And maybe it's a little nerve-wracking to be on the other side because you're like,
A
oh.
little bit. I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I might stutter a couple times, but it's okay.
And that's the thing. There's no right or wrong. It's you. Like it's your time to shine and it's beautiful. And I like don't know anything about your love story. So gosh, like can we start with how did you guys meet? I love hearing about that.
So we actually met on a dating site called Bumble. I don't know if you know about
Yes.
that. Yeah, I was like out of a relationship for a couple months, and I was like, I'm over men. I'm just gonna, mess around on a dating site, see what happens, see if I can meet anyone interesting. Because Bumble is like friendship and dating kind of like hand in hand. And I saw his profile and I was like, looks a little bit too good to be true. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think on his profile he talked about his mom. Like, it was like, who inspires you? And he was like, my mom. And I was like, oh my God, that is perfect already. And then he mentioned like he likes to watch Netflix, which I know seems like so simple to most people, but I love to watch TV. I'm always watching TV. It's just one of my interests. And then he mentioned that he's inspired by creativity.
Match made in heaven.
I'm saying, so I was like, oh, Amy's cute. Okay, let me check it out. And after we started dating, I found out that he had like, I guess there's like a paid version of the app. And so like you can see who is interested in you before like you decide if you're interested in them. So he had already known, he cheated. He had already known that I had liked his profile or whatever. But yeah, we went on our first date. We were supposed to go to the Paint Your World here on the island.
Oh, Paint Your World. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were closed. So we ended up just going out to eat. And I remember the date was so awkward. Like it was very, very awkward. Like we're both eating and we're like making eye contact. It was weird, but it's like the best day ever because it was awkward, but it was like I was okay with it. We were both okay with it being like weird.
Yes, that's the best when you're like, I can be awkward with you. We can be with the weird ones.
Yeah.
And I can see how, I mean, especially if you had original plans of going to Paint Your World and then it's closed, it's kind of like a huge letdown, right?
Mm-hmm. I was all cute and like ready to be painting and stuff together.
Aw.
Yeah. But
wow. But that also shows, I think that even just the fact that like, yeah, the first date was awkward, that shows that it's not like the movies. It's not like that first date is going to be beautiful and he gave you a kiss and it was just so dreamy and everything went perfectly.
right.
No, that's not real life.
No, it is not. But yeah, after like 5 days, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And then we moved very quickly, honestly. After 2 weeks, I met his parents. They like flew down from California because he's from Oakland. I mean, yeah, he's from Oakland, California. And yeah, I love them. They're just like my parents. They're like a carbon copy of my parents almost. It's weird.
Okay, so I gotta ask, they flew down like to Washington. Well, I guess, yeah, they flew to Washington State. Was that just to see you or were they already coming?
They were already coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was getting a new apartment and they like buy property, so they wanted to come help him out. But he was like, I want you to meet my parents. And I was like, oh God.
Oh, yeah.
Parents moment. And I was like, okay, now I have to have him meet my parents because my mom will kill me if she finds out that I met his parents and they haven't met him yet. So he's the first boyfriend I ever brought home too.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that's like a whole other level. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm just giddy. I love it's just so fun to hear about love stories. And even though you guys met on an app too, I think apps are so handy. I haven't actually even experienced apps, but I even not gonna lie, I kind of counted them out, especially on Whidbey Island. I was like, what are the chances?
Right. Especially like because it's such a small town. But my vetting process, I have to say, a lot of people like, oh, he's cute, I'll swipe right. No, I'm going through your profile. If I don't like something, I'm just gonna count it out because I mean, it's just a swipe,
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Them, it's just a swipe, at least.
Yeah, kind of like low stakes in a way.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't really go anywhere. So where was I ever gonna meet? Or Walmart? Like I don't know.
Hey, you're cute. You want to go get dinner?
Yeah, like I'd probably call the cops. Like, yeah. He's calling me around Walmart.
Let's be real. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and especially during the pandemic too. Like there's just things are that much more limited.
Yeah.
So wow. Okay. I'm trying to think like timeline wise, you guys met during the pandemic or was it before that?
Oh no, we've been together for 2 years now. So
2 years.
Yeah. So about a year. He's been gone since the pandemic started, though.
Okay, yes, we
Yeah.
need to fill the listeners in on this because right now they just think he's like this awesome guy and you guys are like together physically. But yeah, talk about why is he gone? What's up?
So he is deployed right now on the Nimitz. He's been in the middle of the ocean for almost 12 months. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, military is a whole other lifestyle and good for you. I don't know how you do it, but please
Either.
get like long distance tips. What's the secret?
So I would say just constant communication if you can, because sometimes he can't email me. Like that's the only way we've been able to communicate really is through email. I think I've talked to him on the phone twice since he's been gone.
Holy cow.
Yeah, but I just try and find new ways to keep it interesting for him just because he's stuck on a ship. Like, what is he gonna do? How can I make him laugh through an email or, something like that? So I actually, it's right here. I bought this 101 quizzes for couples book. And
Oh,
so, yeah, like once every couple days, I'll just send him a new test and we'll just answer back and forth. It's interesting. And it's a really cool book because it's got like fun quizzes, but it also has like informative quizzes, like how we want to raise our children one day and just stuff like that. So,
whoa.
yeah, so we're still kind of working on our relationship while he's gone and keeping it interesting the best we can.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're definitely gonna include that book in the show notes
Yeah,
because
I'll
I'm
send you the
sure.
information for it. It's by Natasha Burton.
Okay, never heard of her, but yeah, that seems like a perfect book, especially for long distance or just in general, to spice things up.
Yeah. And I send him care packages like every other month. I try and send him
Oh,
a themed care package. Like for his birthday, I sent him one that like had a bunch of birthday decorations in it and candy and stuff.
oh, yeah, it's the little things. Yeah, I think of my friend who she also, well, now they're married, but she was dating, and like it was the care packages. I don't know what else the ins and outs because that was kind of between her and him, but yeah, I was always just amazed at how thoughtful it was, and like I love it, the birthday thing, and gotta make it fun.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not gonna lie, every day is different. So today I miss him, of course. Every day I do, but I'm
Yeah.
not really like gonna stay in bed and sulk today. I'm just not in that mood. But tomorrow I might wanna stay in bed and eat cake and just ignore my responsibilities because I miss woe is me. I miss my man.
Mm. Yeah, giving yourself that space to have those feelings. I know we were talking about that before we even press record of like not every day is going to be super joyful. And so, yeah, how do you find hope and the motivation, especially when the military is maybe telling you that he's going to come back sooner than he really is and just all the changes?
I think I'm most miserable when I don't allow myself to feel sad and when I don't allow myself to feel angry or when I try and ignore those feelings because they're not good, quote unquote, not good feelings. But when I like embrace those for a little while, like, okay, Jazz, you have 15 minutes, cry your eyes out, bawl, you can scream if you want to, here's a pillow. When I allow myself to feel those things, as soon as I'm done, it feels so much better. Honestly, I think that's probably the best advice I could give anyone in a long distance relationship is just let yourself feel what you feel. Cause like I said, every day is different. You just gotta kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah. Oh, I like how you even like put a time limit on it because I could see myself, starting with the pity party, but then it turns into a week.
Yeah. Yes, it can go there.
Oh man. I wonder, do you have like maybe other people in the military that you do double dates with? Or I don't know, that just popped into my mind of maybe do you have other military friends who have significant others in the military who they know what you're going through?
So he does. I have, even though I live on an island with a military base, I've never really been that into the whole lifestyle of military people. So like a lot of times when he hangs out with his friends and I'm there, I almost feel left out because
Mm.
I don't know what they're talking about. They speak in like code and I'm like, uh, can I get a translator over here? Like, it's a lot. But the significant others that they have can kind of help. They're like, oh yeah, that stands for this. I learned that like 3 days ago. Like, it's okay. But I think that I have enough friends who have like long distance relationships that I can talk to, not necessarily like military friends.
Yeah. Ooh. First of all, I know exactly what you mean because like I had maybe a great grandpa or a grandpa who was in the military, but no one currently. And so all the acronyms and just like all the pieces of it, I'm just like, okay, it just goes over my head.
I'm just like, uh-huh. I get everything you're saying when I really, really just don't.
Yeah. So when you said translator, I was like, yep, that should be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, other friends with long distance. It's so nice to, I think, okay, I'm totally tying this into heart to heart conversation in our mission because, you know, just as you have friends who are also in a long distance relationship and they just get it, they understand that. The whole mission of this podcast is for you to know that you're not alone. And whatever you're going through, that there's someone out there either going through it real time or that they've gone through it and they're on the other side to tell you that like there's hope. And so maybe you're listening and you're in a long distance relationship and kind of feeling burnt out and, you know, just wishing that you were with your man or your woman. And so yeah, I think it's just so special to share what we're going through as humans and really like pull back the curtains and like actually get real.
Yeah. And especially when talking with other people who are in long distance relationships, when you are honest with yourself about how you feel, it's a lot easier for someone else to open up and be honest with you as well. So I think that's another reason why being honest about how you feel and what you want to say is important, especially when trying to connect with someone heart to heart.
Yes, heart to heart. Yeah, yeah. I find that, yeah, when I'm like, it's like I have to get vulnerable with myself first. Like instead of plastering on the, yeah, I'm fine, everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and allow myself to go there, then yeah, usually not that I expect it to be mirrored back, but usually the person I'm talking with, they'll open up. And I know we even did that. You and I did that in our messages of just like, okay, here's what's actually going on in life.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so anything else maybe like long distance related or military or love that you feel you'd like to share on this platform with folks listening?
I think just to go deeper in my honesty with myself, I think one of the biggest issues that I'd like to speak on that I have with myself when it comes to long distance is patience. I have a really big issue. Even if Dom was right, that's my man's name, Dominic. Even if he was sitting right next to me, or I don't know, if he's not moving fast enough for me. You know what I mean? Like I have to deal with patience in a different way. Really have to test myself with that. And I think a misunderstanding when it comes to long distance is it's going to be an issue between me and him, or me and my significant other. When a lot of times the issues that I have are with myself that I have to deal with. That makes sense. So I have to talk things out with myself before bringing them up to him, because sometimes it's not a me and him problem. It's just a me problem. So.
Ooh, that's so good. Yeah. I've always said relationships are the greatest mirror. And so it's like if I'm insecure about something, body, or even like you said, like patience or communication, you bet it's going to show up either in my partner or in our relationship.
Right.
It's so funny because I see it, but they don't. But I see it because that's what I'm focusing on, or that's what I'm insecure about.
Mm-hmm. And they think like, why is she tripping over this like one little thing? When really I'm like going crazy in my head, but it's really just in my head. It's just my issue with me.
Yeah, so that's so wise that you're like, oh, I need to talk it out with myself before, because I know there have definitely been moments where I'm kind of in the heat of it and I bring it up in the moment and it doesn't usually turn out well. So do you literally like sit there and talk with yourself, or do you journal? What does that look like?
Oh yeah, I talk to myself all day long. I do. Sometimes I write out my thoughts, just kind of like key points. So I'm like, don't forget to talk to yourself about this later because it needs to be addressed, you know? But yeah, I sit and talk to myself all day long, just like, girl, why are you upset? You know, that is not really why you're upset. Don't take that to him and, you know, put some more grief on his head when you haven't even figured out why you really feel that way, you know?
Whoa, yeah. Dang, I'm like taking notes over here, like learning from you. That's inspiring because I even shut down sometimes, especially speaking it out loud. I'm like, oh, people are gonna think I'm crazy.
So what did they do? They probably already do.
Exactly. Oh my
You
gosh,
know?
so true. Yeah, so might as well embrace the craziness, right?
Right? Go big or go home.
Yeah, and plus, like, you might as well be crazy and happy and sane than like, oh, yeah, than like crazy and like resentful and
Right,
bitter
yeah.
and angry.
Vengeful.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's assume that Dom listens to this.
Oh, he will.
Um, okay, so like, what's the message that you want to tell him?
I love you.
Mm.
That's really it. Yeah, that's really it. Love in different ways, this is this is new for me. And he's probably gonna be like, when is it gonna be my turn? When do I get to talk about long distance relationships? That's probably how he's gonna react when he watches this. So
Yes.
or listens to it. But
He's like, hand the mic over.
yeah, it's my turn. He's a showman, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, can I talk to her? Can we do this too?
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
just that I love him and I miss him. That's really it.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, like you said, you might be seeing him soon.
Yes. Can't give out too many details, but yes, hopefully very, 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 very soon.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's the spark of hope too. Like
Mm.
lean on that and let that pull you forward.
Mm.
Hmm.
His parents have been great to me too. His mom and dad call me all the time. It's really nice. The support system, because like I said, I don't really do much. So I pretty much stay home, work on my art and keep to myself. So it's nice that I don't really have to reach out all the time. There's always someone, whether it's my family or his, who are reaching out to just kind of see if I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's huge. And, like to be close enough with his parents that they're reaching out to you. Oh, that just makes my heart so happy.
Me too, girl. Because there's some crazy people out there, some in-laws. They're just not fans. And so I feel
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I also I want to like I'm feeling called to just like share a little bit about your creative endeavors too, because if people, listen to this and just felt touched and moved by your story and obviously see the amazing cover art that you did for my podcast and they want to reach out to you, like please talk about what you do and your art.
Absolutely. So I have always been creative. Like I said, it kind of runs in my family, but I didn't really get serious about like going full throttle on my art until I dropped out of college. That was the best decision I think I ever made because it wasn't for me. It really wasn't. I should have done it earlier, but I waited because I wasn't sure. That's a struggle people have every day in school. Like I could drop out right now and be done with this. But, yeah, so I left school, moved back in with my parents, and I got a job at a t-shirt screen printing place. And I went to school for fashion and marketing. So it kind of like helped me integrate my artwork into the apparel side of what I like to do. So right now I pretty much just do digital portraits and I work in all mediums, but digital art is like where I'm at right now. And yeah, I print my own apparel and mugs and keychains and stuff like that.
Yes, so hit her up, like seriously, if you're looking, I mean, yeah, I'm a witness. Like I love what you're up to in the world and what you're creating. And
Thank you.
yeah, we'll, link your website, all your socials, all the places.
Awesome. I would love the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, I gotta plug it. Oh my gosh, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I'm wondering like to where you see that business headed and in terms of like your relationship with Dom, if you don't mind going more kind of into the future and talking about like your vision. Um, yeah, like I'd love to hear about that.
Hmm. That's like jumping into my 5-year plan. But
Yeah.
I definitely want to focus more on okay, so I guess I could say my commission list is very long when it comes to portraits and stuff, which is great because that means, I mean, I have some income coming in. I've got some traction when it comes to, you know, word of mouth when it comes to my business. But I would like to draw what I want more often than I want to draw portraits. So I do enjoy doing them, but I'd like to spread it out a little more. So I'm not just, because sometimes when you take what you love to do and you try and profit off of it, it becomes a little bit less of what you love to do, you know? And so I'm really trying to find that happy medium of like, I'm doing this because I love it and I'm doing it because it's the work I want to do. So hopefully I'll, in the near future, I'll hone in on how to balance that in my business. And with him, he's supportive. He's so supportive. He just sent me, oh girl, he just sent me a brand new iPad and an Apple Pencil and a new giant easel for me to draw on. Like yeah.
Oh, he treats you well.
I was like, oh my God, I can't, it's too much. I can't accept this. And he's like, yes, you can. And I was like, I can't. You know, and he was like, yes, you can. I was like, okay, I can.
Yes, that's when you just like relax into it and you're like, yes, I am worthy.
Rips open the iPad, like starts drawing instantly. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was so shocked because I was like, how did you buy this stuff from the chip? I don't know how that works.
Amazon? I don't even know. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And to have him be so supportive, that obviously helps too. And I think what you were saying earlier about, you know, kind of like finding that balance and doing what you love to do, but then also like doing what brings in the income. I think, yeah, it comes with time, right? And just like keep on keeping on and it'll work itself out, right?
And I think another thing too is like trying to figure out my worth as an artist because I like to do it. It's like I almost feel like, well, I shouldn't really charge that much because I was gonna enjoy doing it anyway. But girl, you better charge that money, you know, because I don't know. It's hard to figure out to put a price on something you love to do.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'll echo that. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, just as like a self-employed person, as a woman, it is like I think, and as an artist, you know, it to place a value on your art. Sometimes I think it's hard because first of all, it's kind of invaluable. It is invaluable. You know, like it's priceless and it's coming from you and your soul. And I don't know if any price would ever cut it, but then obviously you do need to put a price on it because real world.
Right.
But yeah, it's like sometimes people don't see that value the way you do. So it is tough. I totally understand the struggle.
You'd be surprised the number of people who are like, well, you're gonna draw anyway. Couldn't you just draw me for free? I'm like, girl. Send them up. I've started this thing where I'll just draw them in a stick figure and send it to them.
Ooh, little humor in there, a little sass.
A little pettiness, but I enjoy
it. Yeah, I mean, then those aren't your people. They can find their own friends or artists who don't charge anything and who do it for free. It's like this is your business.
Or something that'll do it for them, you know.
Yeah. Do you say an app?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is your business, it's your livelihood.
Right.
So. Yeah. Man, we've gone all over. That's what I love about Heart to Hearts too, is like we just kind of go with the flow and you know, talking about art and creativity, talking about your love story, military, all the things. Yeah. Anything else maybe that we haven't covered that you feel like is important to say during this time?
Just trying to put it into words. I have a thought, but I'm trying to put it into like best words I can. I don't know. No, I don't think there's anything else. Nothing that like I'd just be touching on the same thing I've already said. So
well, you can repeat it. That's allowed.
Well, and then patience with yourself and honesty with yourself again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's something that as I'm learning who I am, that's something that I have to keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Because like I have anxiety and I suffer with like depression a lot. So
Yeah.
I have to be patient with myself or it's just going to spiral. And then it affects my relationship because he just wants to help me, but how is he going to help me if I don't even know how to help myself, if I'm not honest with how I really feel?
Yeah. I'm so glad you added that in. Yeah. The whole like mental health piece and realizing that I think because I had an interesting conversation about this with my partner where I was basically saying because I have started going to a counselor and I was asking him like, so how do you feel about that, and he was giving his thoughts and we have different thoughts about counseling and meds and all of that and anxiety and depression, but I wanted to tell him that like it's not anything that you could do or didn't do, or like this is me, this is my journey, and obviously like I love being with you, and like you bring me joy and happiness, and at the same time like it's not all on him to make me happy, like this is
Right.
it's that's on me, that's my responsibility.
Very true. I think that I've learned that because I think a lot of times, I guess I can only speak for myself, is it's hard to find yourself deserving of love when you're so down in the dumps because it's like, who would want to love this crybaby girl who's like, you know what I mean? You might want to love me yesterday, but today, because I'm feeling so down, I don't always feel deserving of that. But I think we have to learn, yes, it's not on them to make us happy, but it doesn't mean we don't deserve them trying to make us happy.
Yeah.
Downer.
Yeah. And yeah, you saying that makes me think that I almost have or had, I want to say in past tense because I'm working on it, but I almost had this idea that, oh, Marissa, who's happy and bubbly all the time, like people love her naturally, like, right? And then when Marissa's sad and down in the dumps and feels like a bump on a log, people aren't going to love me.
Right.
And it's almost like I had evidence from my life for that, and so I didn't want to go there, and I didn't like I think that's why I isolate, and my default is to like hide and not allow people in. But then I know for myself how good it feels to help people when they're in that state, and how much as humans we want to do that, we want to contribute and support one another, especially in the lows. If you're always high, then and high high as in happy and joyful, then like then it almost in a way distances people, right?
Sorry. My brain was like, Jasmine, don't laugh. And then you were like,
No, we needed that laughter, we needed to like shake up the energy.
yes.
But yeah, if you're always like happy and joyful, it almost distances people because it's like, well, she's not human, she's got it perfect and all together.
I can't stand. I feel like there is such a thing as too positive because no one can relate to that. That's not real. Like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just can't stop laughing at that comment. Oh man. I hope
Heart to heart, for real.
yeah, for real. Like
Happy heart. That's great.
we went deep. Honestly, for the listeners too, like if you're tuning in, we would love to know and like hear what's on your heart and like kind of what this sparked for you. Tag us in your socials. Even reach out to us individually, reach out to me individually. I don't know if you want to open
Oh,
yourself up to
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Anytime. I'm always up. So,
Yes. Yeah, you are. From what I remember, you are like a night owl.
yes, I am. It's a gift and a curse because, like, I like the peace at night sometimes when I feel like I'm the only one awake. But at the same time, exhaustion sucks. you know?
Yeah, it's like the creative juices are flowing and then you burn out.
Yeah, I saw this like TikTok or something, and it was of an artist drawing, and they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna finish this," and they're like working really hard. There's dramatic music, they're scribbling, and then they like, all right, they're like, "Okay, it's time to go to bed," and they look up, and the sun's out. And that's how I feel like every night. I'm like, oh my God, it's 5 a.m. I swear it was just like 12:30. What is happening?
Oh my goodness. I cannot relate. I definitely can. I'm such a grandma,
Yeah.
but I love that. Oh my gosh. I'm like, wow, there's like nothing else to say. This is like, I'm feeling pretty complete. You feeling good?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. And just like here, just like as the last thing, will you just like say your socials so that people know where to find you?
Sure. My Instagram is jumpin' like jazz, one word, no G. My Twitter is the same. My Facebook page is JZMN Originals. And yeah, that's pretty much the only social media.
Yeah, and then her
I have a
website.
Clubhouse as well.
Yeah, Clubhouse, find her there, and then your website is in the show notes, right?
What'd you say?
Is your website in the show notes?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This was so fun.
I want to say thanks for having me because this is very different, out of my comfort zone, and you are so easy to talk to. I just want you to know that you're very like, your face is all bubbly, your voice is nice. It makes it easy to just kind of like let my feelings flow out, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, it was just such a pleasure to have you on. And who knows, maybe we'll have Dom on in the future.
Oh my God, he would love that. I'm gonna email him today and tell him like, my friend wants you on her podcast. Like, seriously.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Much love to the listeners. Until next time.